everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Blueprint to Thrive. I'm your host, Tamika, and I know I went on a bit of hiatus for about a week and a half because your girl had the flu. I am back. I'm feeling a lot better. I still have that raspy, jazzy voice thing going on, but hopefully we'll be able to record this episode this week so that you guys can, get another lovely episode from the Blueprint to Thrive today. Okay. But before we jump into that, let me pause and say if you haven't had the opportunity to listen to episode 4, you're going to want to. Okay. It was all about mindset. How your thinking shapes the way you show up in your everyday area of life. And today's episode flows right out of that conversation because how we think about stress often determines how we experience it. Okay. All right. So let's talk about stress. Not the vague, one size fit all kind, but the real kind. The kind that creeps in when you're trying to juggle work, life, health, finances, or just trying to keep up with life in general. And look, I'm not about to suggest a 90-minute morning routine or a silent retreat in the woods. That stuff might be nice, but when you're in the thick of it, in the thick of stress, you need tools that work right now in real life during a packed Tuesday afternoon. Okay. So today, I want to share a few realistic, practical tools that have helped me and a lot of other people I work with. Tools you can use without completely rearranging your life. Okay. So, real talk about stress and why it sticks around. It's like that little cockroach that never dies. Okay. So, what I've learned, stress isn't the enemy. Okay. It's part of life, it's not going anywhere. But when it becomes constant, okay, when it becomes chronic, that's when it starts impacting your sleep, your focus, your mood, even your relationships. The goal isn't to eliminate stress completely, it's to create space and tools so that it doesn't run the show. Because let's be real, we're not going to let stress run anything around here, okay? So let's be honest. It's not always the major crisis that drains you. Sometimes it's that nonstop pinging from your phone, saying yes when your plate is already full, living on caffeine and forgetting to eat real nutrient dense meals. We tend to overlook these things, but they pile up rather quickly, right? So, what I want to do now is to give you 4 tools, simple shifts you can make to help manage that daily stress without making life any harder. Okay? So, let's focus on tool number 1, that 5-minute reset. Reclaim your nervous system. My husband often says, what's 5 seconds, 10 seconds? What is it going to do to change or what difference it's going to make in the midst of things? Just take a second, relax, and just do a whoo-saw. So let's have a whoo-saw moment, okay? A 5-minute reset. So this is so easy to skip, but it's so powerful on the other hand. Take 5 minutes during your day, no phones, no emails, no multitasking, just pause. Just pause. So for my moms, my dads, my busy professionals, even the kiddos, just take a 5-minute pause. That can look like, going outside. The pollen is crazy right now, by the way. Okay? So just be mindful of that. But just take a moment to pause where we close our eyes and visualize the world is stopping and halting for us for 5 minutes. Okay? Sitting in silence, taking a deep breath, and just having a 5 minute woo-saw moment. Okay? That's it. I mean, it sounds so simple, guys, but taking that 5 minutes to pause can make the difference between you being so full up here that you go off on that person at work that is just been riding that last strand of patience you have. Okay, so that's how powerful this 5 minute reset is. Because in you taking that 5 minutes to stop, it resets your mind and refreshes your response to that individual. Okay, so 5 minutes to tell your nervous system, hey, you're safe, you're okay. You don't have to stay in overdrive. It's amazing what a tiny break can do for our clarity, our patience, and our energy. So let us practice that 5 minute reset where we just pause and recharge. So it's that fast charger moment that we're trying to accomplish in taking a 5 minute. That's it. Number two on our tool list is the no list. We have a to do list, we have a yes list, we have a gonna check it out list, but do you have a no list? A no list that helps to protect our peace, protect my peace, protect your peace. Let's talk about boundaries, okay? We're pros at writing those long lists, as I said earlier, but how often do we create a no list, okay? Every Monday, I ask myself, what's thing I can say? What's that one thing, that one single thing I can say no to this week? That extra project, the meeting that could have been an email. We know we have a lot of those. The social invite that drains us more than it feeds into us. Okay. This year's theme has been buzzing around the word thriving. Okay. So we need to thrive in 2025. We do not need anything that is going to be a parasite to our temple, be a parasite to our energy levels. We need something that is going to fertilize our temples, that's going to fertilize our energy levels, that is going to fertilize us to let us blossom in a better version of ourselves. Okay? So, when you make space, you reclaim your peace. And when you reclaim your peace, you actually show up better for the things that do matter. So, what's that one thing, just one, you can release this week? Okay. Tool number three, movement snacks. We're not talking about any food, but we're talking about movement snacks, the energy boost you didn't know you needed. So, this one's my favorite because we're not taking a full on gym session. For those of you who can do that, that's great. But for my other people who are struggling, let's have some movement snacks embedded in our week, right? Think about tiny bursts of movement throughout your day, whether that looks like a quick stretch after a call, walking while you catch up with a friend, dancing in your kitchen while dinner's cooking. Movement helps our body process stress. It boosts our mood. It breaks up that sluggish, stuck feeling we sometimes carry around. All right. Even 5 to 10 minutes can reset our minds and get us back to ourselves. So, in the midst of doing a 5 minute woo-saw, creating that no list to help to free up our space, free up our schedule, free up our time, we can participate in a movement snack. A 5 to 10 minute burst of exercise that can help us recharge. We're not hating on caffeine, we're just trying to build natural caffeine in the midst of everything here. Okay? So, the last tool that I have for you guys today is control what you can, release what you can't, mental freedom. And this one is big, okay? Because stress skyrockets when we try to control things that aren't ours to carry. So when I feel overwhelmed, I pause and say, what's in my control? What's not? Then I make peace with what's not mine to fix. That's real work there. Because if you're like me, I like to ensure that all the pieces of the puzzle are in my control and I know what's going on with all those pieces at the same time. And that in itself is a burden that we shouldn't be carrying. Okay? That in itself is a burden that we shouldn't be carrying. So I was reflecting on a passage that our pastor went through earlier this past week. And it's Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22. Okay. What caught my eye in reviewing this passage was the commentary that spoke about God, being faithful to us, being so dependable that his dependability was likened unto the sun rising every morning and the moon showing up every night. So those two things come whether or not we want it to or not. And that's how God's dependability was likened unto the sun showing up and the moon showing up. It doesn't get any better than that. So, we're in the midst of spring cleaning. So, a lot of times we go in that spring cleaning mode where we have a pile where we're going to give away, a pile that we're going to discard of, and a pile that we're going to keep. I want us to create a pile similar to that for things that we cannot control. Okay? And then once we have figured out the things that we cannot control, I want you to pack it up and I want you to put it in that bag and give it away. Because let's be honest, it doesn't matter how much you stress over that thing. If you have no power in controlling it, it won't be beneficial to you. It's just going to add to your stress. And if you were sitting beside me today, I would ask you, what's that one stressor you're holding on to right now? Okay. What's that one thing, just one, that you could release or shift this week? Sometimes it's boundaries. Okay. Sometimes it's the way we talk to ourselves. Either way, you're not alone. These moments of reflection matter. Okay. Because you can't improve on yourself if you're not reflecting on what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. Okay? So, next week, we're going to be taking things a step further. Okay? We're going to be talking about emotional resilience, what it looks like to bounce back when life gets messy, disappointing, and hard. If you're feeling stuck in a cycle of stress and setbacks, you will want to be here for next week's episode because managing stress is one thing, okay? But bouncing back is stronger. That's a whole new level of thriving there, okay? So here's your challenge for this week: pick one of these tools. That's it, just one. Try it out, see how it feels, then tag me or DM me on Instagram at the Practitioner Collective and let me know how is it's going. Okay. If this episode gave you even one aha moment, share it with someone else who's navigating stress. Let's build a community where we support each other and actually thrive. Okay. Until next time, breathe deep, say no when you need to, and keep choosing you. Okay? That's all we have for today. Remember, be sure to like this episode if it resonated with you, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if it is that you haven't subscribed to Blueprint to Thrive. Until next time, walk good.